Mac Miller is back in the building for another album 2 years after The Divine Feminine, where he used an entire album to talk about how great his relationship with Ariana Grande was. I'm glad that worked out for you, Mac. But Swimming is his next album, and I hear it's heavily relationship inspired, but not in a simpy kind of way, more of a glow up kind of way. I'm hoping that, majority of this isn't filled with "you hurt me, baby, come back," but if it is, I won't be shocked. The way he was rapping on Divine Feminine made me think Ariana Grande had the golden vagina. Drink more, what you know what I mean. Mac Miller always been a pretty entertaining rapper to me. Not always the best albums fully, but I do get entertainment out of this guy a lot. So I like that little program thing. Those 3 songs that he dropped not long ago. I believe it was like a month or 2 ago. Those are pretty entertaining. Not crazy, but still pretty good. Just here to see what he can deliver. What are you gonna do next, Mac? Track number 1, Come Back to Earth. Now that is harsh. Come back to reality after you just been on cloud 9 forever.
I just need a way out of my head. I was drowning, but now I'm swimming. Look like rain, gray skies are drifting.
Alright, I enjoy that song actually. Basically his perspective is based on, I was drowning in these negative feelings, now I'm embracing them by saying I'm swimming in them. Kind of a healthier take or outlook on, a situation that isn't the brightest, but you're kind of learning to live with it as opposed to letting it overtake everything that you do in life. Track number 2, we got Hurt Feelings. I don't know. I feel like the track drags out just a little bit. Another thing I think I've noticed about this is we don't have any features, which isn't a bad thing, but as long as Mac can kind of, switch in between vocal inflections, take his flows in different directions, that beat was a little bit more chill. So that's probably why it had more of a negative impact on me. I get it being just a little bit more somber. It just didn't feel like anything was happening in the track. Though I do enjoy the point of the song, not to be forgotten. Track number 3, What's the Use? That funkiness, I like that.
You can leave it, but say nothing down. Don't let them get you down. Truly might be nothing that you know of. You don't need to hold up. So above and beyond, you take drugs to make it up, way up where we on.
Above and beyond.
Time with them talking fly, got a pilot with them. Can I?
All right then. Yeah, so that little break in between near the end of the track, I feel like we need more of that to kind of bring some more life into these instrumentals and just the Mac's delivery. I like what he's doing here. I think he could utilize a feature. So he can utilize himself a little bit more as a rapper. I get wanting to do all of it yourself, though. It, being something that's real to you and true to you, and it being, coming across a little bit more organic in that way. I just feel like, a couple soul features if you're gonna go with this funky kind of sound too. There are some other artists out there that could kind of accompany you with at least the hook or the singing a little bit more, so it doesn't come off like, you're forcing your voice into a space you're not usually used to. And this song is also like pretty expressive with Mac and like what he's been struggling with, I guess. Just in my opinion, kind of opening up the door and saying that I'm using these things to distract myself from me, basically. Whether these things be relationships or alcohol or other influences. I guess we're gonna get to the point where at some point he realizes I gotta face me. Track number 4, Perfecto.
Cool, calm, and collected, holding my breath. This ain't what I expected. When living off of borrowed time, often I'm on the fence, on the line, adding up what's on my mind. They're calling for me from the shore. I need
Damn.
They always do hate.
I like the flow and flex and switch up right here.
Say with the homies like it's Kool-Aid. Me, I'm just trying to play it cool. The time don't give a fuck about clocks until they stop. Bare feet, running late. Her car started, even though the only thing that she driving a hard bargain. More important is I'm coming back together when I'm out of order.
It's like really a soothing album. It's not really much to, you know, kind of get energetic to. It's just it's pretty relatable in the sense that you're trying to do all these other things to avoid coming in contact with your emotion or with yourself. I see a lot of parts of this album so far where he references alcohol abuse, so I'm assuming that's also a theme for this project. He also is kind of implying that he needed at some point, I don't know if he's referencing another lover or another relationship, or if he's referencing Ariana Grande when he's saying that she put me back together. I also like the hard bargain. That's the only thing she drives is a hard bargain, like almost like, yeah, I'll help you, but kind of like conditional love, not really like you know, no matter what you do, I'll always be here. Kind of like at this point, he's acknowledging that they were out on edge at this point. Next track is Self-Care. I have not listened to this track yet. I don't know why, but it really has been slipping me, and I felt like I should just wait until the album at this point. I missed the first 2 weeks of its release, so I just felt like, just wait. Also like how Self-Care comes after the track where he says Ariana Grande was the one that put him back together. And if that was the last time she helped him do it, and now he's saying I have to care for myself in context, that's why some tracks make sense in context of the album.
Yes, I remember it all. Swear the hype be too tall. No one can even trust yourself, yeah. I love you, I don't love nobody else, yeah. That Mercedes drove me crazy, I was speeding.
I guess he's talking about his recent car accident. I get it now. Oh my God. I know. Oh my God.
When I come home, the sunset quickly, then get up slow.
Shit. And he's singing well. It's not forcing it, he's just harmonizing. Oh, Self-Care is crazy. I didn't know it was gonna be like that. Y'all should have told me it was gonna be like that. I would have listened to it sooner. Beat switch is crazy. I don't know, like the direction he took the second part of that track was insane to me. I like how he's explaining how it's difficult transitioning from being taken care of to taking care of yourself. But I mean, it seems like there are a couple of things that like aided in his decision to take care of himself. Like I'm assuming he's referencing his car accident at one point when he says his Mercedes going out of control or something like that. But yeah, it just seems like a lot of self-reflection, nothing really corny here. And I'm assuming this is also an album that probably females are probably going to be able to get a new perspective with as well, because I think a lot of them think that men have no kind of introspection, or they don't have to go through any kind of mental agony, not only after a breakup, but when it comes to finding and figuring out who they are. It's a lot more difficult, because for so long you're just taught to kind of be who you are, and like if you have an issue, you're supposed to know what it is and fix it instantly. You're the one that's not really supposed to need any help. So I think this is kind of brave, if you will. Track number 6 is Wings. He grew wings after he took care of them. This is great. This is great. I like the way these are like progressing.
I ain't feeling broken no more. Bought a fist that got spin. I know there's something bad beside next to me. Wind in my face. Don't stop now when I feel so great. Pick on break. That's a motif. That's a motif. Yeah.
Man.
When it's coming right back. The sun is shining. I can look at the horizon. The walls keep getting wider. I just hope I never find. Is all that I hear. Listening close as I can. Growing up. 1, 2, 3. Jump. Nobody holding my hand, no. And that don't include your time and company. Follow me, we on the up and up. Remember when I owed $100? Now I look around like, what the fuck?
And again, I just think he's taking care of himself and, you know, doing it in a more healthy way instead of like self-medicating. He's kind of just stopped all the other stuff and like, all right, now that I've stopped that, now I gotta focus. It's almost like when he says I put money on forever, but I don't gamble on the weather. It's kind of like him saying that I am guaranteeing you that my love is permanent, but my emotion, my feeling, and my thought process and, you know, my mood isn't. My mood and all that other things are just like the weather. So I won't bet on me being the same in that, but I can bet that I'm going to love forever. And I think when he says like when the walls are getting wider, I think that just means like, and he says I hope I never find him. I think it just means like he's just saying I don't ever want to be limited. I want the freedom and the space to be able to do whatever I want. So I hope I never encounter these walls or these obstacles or these blocks. As far as the songs are concerned, I do think, like I said, some of them could be a little bit more vibrant in some areas, but I do think, you know, it carries a theme of just intrusive kind of behavior, just kind of introspection. It's not going to be anything crazy, especially when you're doing some self-reflection. So let's go to track number 7, Ladders.
Keeping my head on top of my shoulders. Into some shit, I'm out of the box. And I'm staying so high.
Oh, yeah.
Touching the sky. And you know you're dead wrong, you're in love with a lie.
I see you.
Waking up, I open up my eyes. Do you mind if I blow your mind? I wouldn't wait forever. Just shoot you. I don't trip, flip, or lose my grip. And I don't know it all, but I do know this. Myself, I've been in this shit so long that it don't smell. I turn a hotel to a castle.
That track kind of just being an ode to an obstacle. How do you get to, you know, a lot of obstacles? How do we get beyond this point? How do we get through the problem or whatever? Ladder, boom. Track number 8 is Small Worlds. I didn't actually know that this track was going to be on the album. This I've heard before.
To complain from this 5-star hotel. I'm always in a rush. I've been thinking too much.
Oh my God. I underrated this one. I listened to it the first time. Next track is Conversation Part 1.
Language, this is an occasion. Where you from? Who you came? Started in the basement. Made it way.
Sound like that Drug Dealers Anonymous in the background.
Money till you make it. Otherwise, it's just a conversation. Just get a couple dollars. Now they act strange. Now they want to give a couple home invasions. All my homies with me get.
Dope track. Love Mac's delivery, his confidence, the statement of just people around you changing as you evolve, as you move forward, as you grow. And especially on this, as he's saying that he's changing himself, I'm assuming the people around him are going to change as well. Track number 10, Dunno.
Well, we was fucking, almost missed my flight. I wasn't even tripping, I said it's alright.
No, it's not. That's a large payment, sir.
Get along. Wouldn't you rather get along? See them lips, kiss and hit it, yeah.
I don't know, that song was a little hit or miss for me. I get where he was going with it. I just don't feel like the delivery it didn't have really like an edge to it. It felt kind of just like, it just felt kind of low, like extremely low energy. And I know the tone of this is chill and laid back, but there's a difference between chill and it sounding like you don't give a fuck. Track number 11 is Jet Fuel.
Broke sky hook when I'm in the post. You're my girl, too clutch to choke. And I ain't calling it quits. You can build a wall.
I love the funk and jazz inspiration.
That shit.
The blues, all of it.
Cause everything's too much. So what?
Oh, I thought we were past this, man. No. Let's go to track number 12, 2009. I'm gonna talk about most of this at the end, but yeah, 2009. Very nice violin intro and piano.
Jump in to swim. Well, the light was dim and this light was sin. Take it nice and easy, took a flight to see me. But I don't need to lie no more. Nowadays all I do is shine. Take a breath and ease my mind. I'd rather have me peace of mind than war. You see me?
I like that track. It's based heavily in reflection and comparing and contrasting your past and your present. I like how there's a difference in where his head is at, you know, and he's making the distinction. He's aware of the change, so I like that track. And we got the final track on here, So It Goes.
You could have the world in the palm of your hand, you still might drop it. And everybody wanna reach inside your pockets. I tell them red light, stop it. Shit, that bring more flavor than all the seasons. Winter, spring, summer, fall, the
All the
rest is
seasons,
always
more
greener till I
flavor.
cut it in my man. No relaxing, kicking back, this ain't exactly in the plan. I can't get no satisfaction, goddamn.
That's fucking beautiful. That is Mac Miller's. I listened to the whole album and still forgot the name of the album. Let's just say Mac Miller is basically with this album trying to let us in on his emotional maturity and you know, the growth and the journey that he's walked and the one that he's explored over the past few months, over the past couple years actually. And I think it's healthy. You know, when you do something or you get away from the thing that, you know, you are being kind of thrown to for a large portion of your career, especially for purposes that are generally supposed to be kept private amongst regular people, like a relationship. You wouldn't need to have a full-length conversation about a relationship being a regular person. These are things that you could kind of keep to yourself. And I feel like us not really hearing from Mac Miller was a bit of a representation of that, saying that I needed to come away from these things in order to find myself, fix myself, love myself, come back to myself, take care of myself, you know, be real with myself, be honest with myself, you know, meet myself, and then I'll be able to, you know, deliver not only good music, but, you know, more sound decision, better relationship, I guess, decisions as well, better relationship moves. I like how Mac has opened up and kind of, you know, basically saying that he was wrong in a lot of instances in the past and, you know, not necessarily blaming everything wrong with his life at that time and even up until this very moment on his ex. Just saying that he's better now for the things that he's been through, for the situation, for the breakup, everything like that. And I can understand how that comes across in this album. The album cover is him, I'm assuming, I don't know if he's in the cockpit. I doubt it. That doesn't seem like that. But it seems like he's on a plane, and the premise of it is him being high, him feeling better and feeling higher than he's ever been without being under some influence, right? So I think that's a big picture that you can paint with this album, is being high without being under. And I think Mac kind of explores that in one of the more healthier ways. You know, he's not going on and on about being depressed, going on and on about being heartbroken, just kind of looking at his issues, not really blaming the world or anyone for them, but just kind of evolving as the album goes on. He kind of gets better, a little bit more lighter, and just seems to mature. Even at the end, it kind of signifies or lets you know that, you know, all of his issues aren't solved. He still's got things that he needs to work on, but so it goes on. You know, life goes on anyway. And I think that's kind of a good representation of the album. It just kind of flows. Now, in that same regard, I feel like the album flows and it kind of blends in a way because there's so little that's really happening production wise. Mac Miller handles everything from vocals to hooks to singing, which aren't bad, but there's only so many places I feel Mac Miller can go as a singer, as a vocalist, and he explores maybe 2 or 3 ranges in the entire album, and that's pretty much what we get for most of every song. So when he's not rapping, he's singing, and the singing can get old quick, just like the rapping can get old quick. There aren't really any features, and again, it being a bit more of a chill, laid back, kind of funky blues, jazzy experience. I like it for that purpose, but I feel like in that same regard, you need something a little bit more vibrant for such a chill, laid back album to kind of get people to want to come back to these tracks. None of them are really particularly catchy, and his voice gets pretty repetitive after a little while. So having a whole album where it's just Mac Miller is kind of like having a whole album where it's just J. Cole. There's only so much that you can get, and there's nothing wrong with them because they're great artists, but at the same time, their range as far as how they can sing and where they go with their vocals are very limited in my opinion. They haven't really shown that much in terms of versatility as rappers or singers for me to want to hear a whole album with zero features or outside influence vocally from anyone else. Aside from that, I do like the message. I do like where Mac Miller is coming from. I do like how he's in a better place mentally now. I do like how he took the album and as opposed to making it an album where he's drowning in all these things that have happened to him and drowning in all the things that he's done wrong, he's embracing them and he's trying to find a way to reflect on them as opposed to feel bad for himself and just say that he feels a way and leave it at that. You know, he even mentions at the end of the album, life goes on, so you got to go along with it. So swim, go with the flow, but also kind of make a flow. Don't just sit here and let life take you. Enjoyable Mac Miller album to me. Not crazy, nothing horrible, but nothing amazing. But definitely more interesting than The Divine Feminine if you're not into hearing a guy like get a girlfriend and then like drool all over her for a whole album. Although I still like that album. Mac Miller, forgot the name again. Self-Care and that other track, oh man, amazing. Honestly, the best tracks here are the ones that were released, in my opinion, before the album came out. Thank you for watching, though. Let me know what your favorite tracks are in the comment section down below. I'm curious to know what you think, and I'll be out. I'll see y'all next time. I hear Uzi also dropped something by accident. YG came out. Her came out. It's just too much, man. I'm out. Peace.